Hey everybody, Luke Gordon here, and in today's video we're talking about bulging discs in your lower back, which can cause lower back pain and sciatica. And in this video I want to really dive into if you've had a bulging disc before and you're looking to avoid a bulging disc in the future. I want to tell you exactly what you should be doing. So in this video it's really meant for two groups of people. The first one is, again, if you've had a bulging disc before and you've had some pain, lower back pain, sciatica pain, and you really want to make sure you're doing everything you can to prevent it from happening again, this is going to be right up your alley. And the second person who I think this video is really going to benefit is if you have a job where you feel like you're running a higher risk of a bulging disc in the future, and you want to be making sure that you're doing everything you can to avoid even your first bulging disc. This is going to help too. So that might be a job where like you're doing heavy construction, or it's awkward reaching. I've talked like engineers in the past where they're in awkward positions for long periods of time, or it could just be you're sitting a lot at work. What can you be doing to avoid a bulging disc in the future? So that's what this video is for. We're going to run through my top 5 or 6 tips here that if you combine them all at once together are going to really give you a good shot at keeping your discs happy, avoiding that lower back and that sciatic nerve pain. So the first one is you really want to avoid prolonged sitting whenever you can. So any periods where you're sitting on in your chair at work or at the dining room table, especially in a chair that's unsupportive like a dining room table chair where you don't have that lumbar back support, you want to avoid sitting. And I would say don't sit for more than 20 minutes at a time if you don't have to. So get up, move around, stretch. If you are going to sit for prolonged periods and you feel pretty good, I would highly recommend you get like a lumbar roll, which could be one that you could purchase on Amazon, like an actual lumbar support, or it could just be a rolled up towel. That also is going to help you for long car rides. So if you're in the car for a long period, get that lumbar support going. You just don't want to be slouching when you sit. If you recall from previous videos, when you slouch or you're forward bent, that's putting a lot of pressure on your disc to bulge backwards towards your spine and towards those nerve roots. So again, avoid prolonged sitting and avoid slouch sitting. Use that lumbar rest whenever you can. That's your first tip, and it's a big one. The next one then is avoid prolonged or repetitive bending and twisting. So picking things up off the ground where you're kind of bending forward, especially if you're twisting, can be really, really hard on your disc. And the hard part with this one is that it may not feel like it's that bad on your disc at the time because it's just a little bit of wear and tear, a little bit of damage over a longer period of time. So you may not really even notice that it's bothering you until, of course, that day when it does bother you. So in the meantime, when you're trying to prevent the bulging disc, make sure you're not doing a whole lot of repetitive bending and twisting. Instead, crouch down, kneel down, move things to a different height on a surface if that's one of the reasons that you're having to do those motions. So that was number 2. Number 3 then kind of goes hand in hand is avoid awkward or heavy lifting. The biggest thing, as you can probably guess, the old adage is pretty true: lift with your legs, not with your back. If you're lifting things over 10, 15, 20 pounds, you definitely do not want to be lifting with your back arched forward or compounded with your back bent forward and twisted. So again, if you haven't already started working on your legs and working on squats, things like that, get your leg strength going. Make sure you can squat down to lift things. Or again, you can kneel down to lift things, or you can move things to a better surface. So again, watch out for lifting activities that could potentially put a lot of pressure on the front of your disc and cause it to bulge backwards towards those nerve roots. So that was your third thing. And those are more like avoid type things. Now let's talk about things you can do to be proactive. In my previous video about bulging discs and how to treat them, one of the concepts is you do extension-based exercises. So basically just bending backwards. Now, if you don't have a bulging disc right now or any pain associated with it, I think just doing a standing back bend where you're placing your hands on your hips and just gently bending backwards throughout your day is a great place to start. That's especially beneficial if you've been sitting for a while, or if you did do a lift and it didn't feel so great. Stand up, get nice and tall, and just gently stretch your spine backwards. So that's just a very basic standing extension exercise. If you want to look at all 3 of the ones that I have on that, I'll pop that up above right here, and then maybe on the end of the video too, but for here for sure, I'll pop up more information on how to do the more advanced extension-based exercises. But doing those regularly, again, just to stay ahead of the curve, knowing that throughout the course of your day, you have put some wear and tear, some pressure on the front of your disc, and it's causing your disc to move backwards. You're just reversing that pressure and getting the disc to move back forwards again. So that's another tip. The last one I have for you then is to do some type of regular traction or inversion. So like an inversion table where you're leaning back and you're just taking that pressure off of your spine, where that negative pressure when you're pulling on both ends of the discs allows the disc material to kind of suck back towards the middle. So that can be a really nice thing, really nice for you, especially if you have lower back pain on a regular basis. Maybe you've got some facet joint issues or some degenerative issues on top of your disc bulge. That can be really beneficial too. So again, if it feels good, do that prophylactically. Stay ahead of the curve. Or you might, one last tip there with traction or inversion is you might do that in a pool. So you might just get in a pool, unweight your spine, do some of your exercises, do some walking, maybe you like water aerobics, or you go into the deep water and just kind of hang on some noodles with some ankle weights. That can be really beneficial too. So again, the idea with this is that stay ahead of that bulging disc. Appreciate that throughout the course of the day. It could be kind of pushing that disc material back, so you want to be doing everything you can to push it back forward towards the center where it belongs. And if you can do all of these things, the sitting, avoiding the sitting, the bending, the twisting, improving your lifting, doing some of those back bends, extension-based exercises, and then doing some type of a traction, you've got a really good shot at keeping that disc happy, keeping it towards the center of your spine where it belongs. And then, of course, keeping it away from those nerve roots, which is going to cause that sciatic nerve pain. So that's the video. So I hope that helps. I've got more videos on back pain. If you have any specific questions or you'd like me to make a video on a different topic related to back pain, sciatica, disc bulges, just comment below and I'll get to it all in good time. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe before you go. I really appreciate that, and I hope it helped.